with the wind blowing out and guys hitting pop-ups that were going out of the building. You know, Gary Sanchez said that after he hit the ball, he wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
And then he saw the outfielder going back and going back. He goes, I think I got a chance here. And it certainly worked out for him. And it worked out for Aaron Boone, too, because, you know, we sat here yesterday and we talked about whether or not they were going to play him and all that other stuff. Hey, let's face it. This was an unbelievable, most memorable game, and you're 100% right, G. There's no question about that. But it does also show you where the Yankees got issues. If they're not hitting, they're going to have issues with their starting pitching. And, you know, for years it's been they didn't have that top-of-the-rotation guy. They didn't have that real stud. And now they have that guy, but now they have issues behind him. And you know, we were having a lot of fun at Masahiro Tanaka's
not a big game
yesterday.
pitcher.
He's not a big game pitcher and everything. But
Yeah.
he did have one of the lowest ERAs, if not the lowest ERAs for the guys that are in the playoffs this year, given the amount of games that he has pitched for the Yankees in the playoffs. But last night was not as good. It was not a great night. But it wasn't good for either really of starters. And I think the start, stop, the whole thing, the weather, the wind. You know, I don't care who was on the mound last night. You were probably going to get one of these wacky offensive games. But, you know, Gio Urshela, to me, is the real hero in this game. And I know that Gary Sanchez hit the home run. He had the sac fly and all that stuff. And Stanton did hit a home run to get them on the board early on. But Gio Urshela and, DJ LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu is a stud baseball player.
It's amazing.
He's just a great baseball player.
It's like he can put the ball where he wants to put the ball no matter what. It's like, I'm going to deposit this out into right field. It's exactly what I want to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit the ball right up the middle in this clutch situation because that's what I can do, and I'm going to do it. I mean, it's unbelievable how he can get up with runners in scoring position. Doesn't matter who he is facing, and he can put the ball with his bat wherever he wants to put it. I mean, he's one of the best hitters that I have. These last 2 years of DJ LeMahieu are some of the two most impressive offensive years, and I know it's not just like home run numbers. It's not like him breaking Bonds' record.
He's just a baseball player.
It's just flat out impressive hitting. It's just incredible hitting.
He's just a great baseball player, and he's great in the field too as well. He's smart and he's really understated. He has a lot of the Jeter qualities. You know, like Jeter was a superstar, but you would never know it. You know, he wasn't out there in front of everything doing a million commercials and all that other stuff. He was just went about his business and played great baseball, and I think that's kind of what DJ LeMahieu is feeling. And I would imagine if I were a Cleveland Indian general manager, Mikey Chernoff, I'd be thinking, why the hell did I ever let Gio Urshela go?
Yeah,
because what Gio Urshela has done since he's been here has been amazing too. And hitting the grand slam last night, I mean, I don't know how I felt like when he was coming up to the plate. Okay, and I'm like, all right, what are we going to do here now? And all of a sudden, it's like, boom! Yeah. And that thing was a bomb, by the way.
It was. And he went down to get it. I mean, That's not like it was right in the meat of the plate. I mean, that ball was down, and he golfed it out about 20 rows back.
How happy must he be?
Oh, my goodness.
Doing that against his former team. But the other thing, too, he's a lot like – he has the same personality as DJ LeMahieu and Derek Jeter. In other words, another low-key guy. That
he's always happy, just brings a good energy to the team.
And he plays
smiling in the
third
dugout.
base.
Yeah, and he did again. Key play. Indians up 9-8 in the ninth, and the double play that he starts to turn as he dives, and his defense was on display in a key moment, first and second, one out, where the Indians are looking to tack on with the lead at that point, where you felt like the momentum was swinging in their way, and Urshela made sure it didn't, and then the Yankees come back and tie. I mean, he was, and I know they have like the championship belt now thing that they do, and a player gets it after every game, and he got it last night. And to do that against a team that gave up on him because they didn't trade him away to get something back of substance. They traded away Gio Urshela, the Indians did, to the Yankees for cash. That was it.
Yeah, but
it was a cash deal.
When I think about what the Yankees have done and what Brian Cashman has done for on-the-field players, everyday players, acquiring Urshela, acquiring Voit, acquiring Didi Gregorius before they let him go, and they needed somebody to replace Derek Jeter, and he did it seamlessly. This is a real testament to, I guess, their scouting department and really understanding who they want and what they're looking for and finding them. Now, I wish I could say the same about the pitching staff and stuff like that, but I think pitchers are harder to find. especially top quality pitchers, unless, of course, you're going to pay $332 million for a guy who's going to come in here and hopefully live up to it. But, they will have a problem moving forward now with their pitching staff. I think it's going to be interesting because now, starting Monday, it's the Tampa Bay Rays. And to me, this is where, as Gary Sanchez said yesterday, everything in the regular season's over with now. We start anew in the playoffs, and this is where the legacy starts. So good for Stanton hitting 2 home runs in 2 games. It looks like he's got his game going. Good for LeMahieu and Urshela, who are playing their asses off. I just think that now all of a sudden you're going against the hottest team in baseball in the Rays, and they just kind of dismantled the Blue Jays pretty easily. Destroyed them yesterday, and they're just waiting in the weeds to take out the Yankees. The $28 million Rays are waiting to take out the Yankees. Think about that for 1 second.
And these teams legitimately dislike one another, and I wish this was the ALCS and this was a 7-game series because I feel like it would go 7. It's not. It's not the way that it broke in this bracket, this MLB bracket. But they don't like each other. I mean, it was not that long ago that we were talking about the benches clearing and then Kevin Cash talking about the threats and Aroldis Chapman throwing at guys' heads and getting suspended and all these things that went on between these two teams. They really dislike one another, and the Yankees have them in their heads. There's no doubt. I mean, if you think losing 8 out of 10 in this season to the Tampa Bay Rays and them going on to win the division, and then you have the issues that you have with the benches clearing. I mean, this is shaping up to be a great one. It is incredible that it's the Rays. It's not the Red Sox this time. It's not the Astros this time. It is the Tampa Bay Rays, but they are the most formidable opponent for the Yankees right now in the American League, hands down. And you got a 5-game series to prove that you're better. And I mean, you got to feel nervous about it. And I have not seen the odds yet if the Rays or the Yankees are favored to win the series.
I know it's hard to think that the Yankees can't be favored given their lineup and everything. But when you think about starting pitching, and they could throw out Blake Snell, Charlie Morton, and Tyler Glasnow.
Yep.
Those are going to be the guys that are either going to win it or lose it for the Rays. And I think you're going to get a Blake Snell and you're going to get a Garrett Cole opening day. It's going to be awesome, opening series game on Monday. But then after that is where really the Yankees pitching staff now comes into focus. Because especially if Tanaka is going to pitch the way that he did last night. Now, again, I don't think either starting pitcher
not
last
a big
night,
game pitcher.
Yeah, no. I don't think either starting pitcher last night had much of a chance.
Right, but I mean, exactly. I mean, think about the situation. They start the game, it's wind and it's rain, and then they put the tarp on, which this was just so poorly managed last night. I tell you, man, I should get a consulting job with Major League Baseball, because not only did I tell you yesterday morning about the wind blowing out because of all my wind apps and my seaman qualities that I have. I told you it'd be windy as hell and be blowing out to right field at like 10 o'clock in the morning. But I was also looking at the radar, and I had the group text with a bunch of Yankee fans that are just going nuts these days. And I'm saying this is ridiculous that they're not starting a game right now because the rain is nowhere to be found. They could have gotten an hour in of the game if they started it on time, and then when they started it, the rain was right on top of them. So I don't know what the hell they were looking at. I don't know if there's a bunch of buffoons like walking outside and just looking up at the sky as opposed to looking at the radar, but that was stupid. But anyway, with Tanaka, I mean, can you really blame him last night? I mean, when he gives up the first run, it's in the wind and the rain. Then he's got to take off for I don't know how long. What is it, 30, 40 minutes? And then he comes back in, and he's still not any good. So I don't want to make it seem like Masahiro Tanaka is a guy you can't count on because of last night's performance. I can't do that. I still feel pretty good about Cole and then Tanaka for the Yankees. This is not a situation where there's a massive, massive drop-off when you get to your number 2 pitcher. I still believe Masahiro Tanaka can put in a great 7-inning performance in a playoff game almost every night that he steps out there.
Well, the nice thing for the Yankees is they scored 22 runs against the Indians, and the Indians came in with some top-level pitchers that the Yankees just
sound like A-Rod there.
Drilled pitchers. They drilled them. And, I think their closer was 16 for 16 in save opportunities. Not last night. Bieber had a great season. He's probably going to win the AL Cy Young not 2 nights ago. Last night it was just, another 8 hits, another 10 runs, 22 runs in 2 games. That's the Yankees offense. That's it. And it's on full display, and it was all over the place over the first 2 games. I mean, from Gardner hitting home runs to Sanchez hitting home runs to Stanton hitting home runs to Judge and Urshela and Torres. I mean, every single guy basically participated. Every single guy, maybe with the exception of Higashioka, every single guy was a part of the offensive outbreak for the first 2 games of the Yankees, and that's got to be a great sign.
Yeah, and I don't think you can overstate enough Giancarlo Stanton and Gary Sanchez last night. I was worried those guys were going to go 0 for 9 with 7 strikeouts. I said it yesterday about 4 or 5 times. I hated the fact they were in the same lineup together. I think there's too many holes there. And both of them were key pieces to what was an incredible comeback win and a couple of opportunities last night, a couple of instances, rather, to come back and take the lead. They were great. So if you have those 2 guys actually contributing offensively and not being the holes in the lineup they have been for most of their Yankee careers, then you're talking about a completely different situation with that lineup. Really, because they've been living off reputation and name for a while, and that's why everybody's, look at this Yankee lineup, look at this Yankee lineup. The reality of it was when you got to Giancarlo Stanton, you could strike him out, he was going to ground out to short, and Gary Sanchez was just completely lost. If those guys got it together right now at this time, good luck. I don't care who you are.
Well, again, it's all come down to pitching. Baseball is all about pitching. And, again, pitching last night was not easy for any of the pitchers that showed up and played. It was just with the wind blowing out and everything else. And I'm sure every pitcher was uncomfortable last night. And that's just what happens in October baseball, right, with the weather and all that other stuff. That won't be the case when they go to San Diego. They'll get beautiful weather. It'll be perfect baseball weather. And they're going to face 3 really good pitchers right out of the gate. And that's going to be the test. This is the test now. All right, so this is the warm-up to get in. And I kind of feel like, like with the Islanders, it was the warm-up to beat Florida to get in. Now go on and beat, Washington and Philadelphia. And this is going to be that type of series, that type of intensity between these 2 teams. As you pointed out, they don't like each other. And that makes it even that much more interesting. And the disparity in paychecks and reputations and everything else, and the little team that could and the big team that should and all that other crap going into this, it's going to be great. This is exactly what Major League Baseball was hoping for, I think.
And it's every night, right? We're starting that whole deal now, right? There's no days off. So it's just basically once we get to Monday, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? That's going to be the 5-game series, I think, as far as I remember. Once you got to the DS and CS, that there are no days off because you're not going anywhere. There's no travel days. So you're just playing every single day. So this is going to be incredible to start because you've got, well, first off, we got... you
have Monday, you have Tuesday, and you definitely have Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me check Thursday. I'll check Thursday. You have Thursday, and you have Friday. You have 5 straight days of baseball if it goes 5.
No days off. No days off. Yeah, I mean, this is where the starting pitching is going to be a real – that's where it gets tested because you can't maneuver your rotation to get a guy in early because of that day off. I mean, it is like you're straight 5 guys. So, yeah, it'll be fascinating to see because it's the first time I've ever seen that. The manager's never had to deal with 5 straight games in the postseason. If it makes it that far, it could be 3, could be 4.
Right, and then the question is, what does your roster look like?
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, it's a totally different type of matchup with the Rays. It is. It's just different. They are a different baseball team. They are the thorn in the Yankees' side, whatever cliche you want to use. That's what they are. And Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman and all the geeks, they got to figure that out. The front office geeks.
So here's the time to shine. You. If it does get to 5 games,
Cole would be on what?
3 days rest.
3 days rest. Yeah. I know. This is what I'm trying to tell you. With the 5 days, it's different, man.
Yeah, and the other thing too, and I can hear it right now. J-Hap hasn't pitched for how long now?
Yeah, right. I mean, think it's same with Garcia. It's same with Montgomery. I mean, it's just these guys haven't pitched.
Yeah, and plus you could say the same thing for the Rays, too. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they're in the same situation. It's just that they have, their second, third pitchers are considerably better than the Yankees' second and third pitchers.
Not a big game pitcher.
Well, maybe he will be. I don't know. Maybe he will be in the nice weather of San Diego. That's what you got to hope for Masahiro Tanaka next week. And it'd be interesting to see if they go with him in Game 2, or do they give the ball to J. Happ in Game 2?
Yeah, so we've got a lot happening. Tonight we've got the Adam Gase guillotine game. We'll be able to stave that off. We've got the Giants on Sunday. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what
the
you're calling
guillotine
it?
game. Well, yeah, I mean, basically his head is in the guillotine. It's just a matter of it's going to drop or not. Will he get out of it, or will it fall into the basket? I mean, those are the two things, the two options tonight. And then you've got, of course, a big football Sunday and the Giants, and maybe 2 Monday night games, one being an exclusive one on CBS. So we got all sorts of stuff happening here. With then on, of course, Monday you get the Yankees and Rays. So this is incredible. You got the NBA Finals happening. This is incredible stuff. We tell you every single day to soak these things up. Go back to April. Go back to May. Remember when we had Ugats, and then think about where we are right now this morning talking about Yankee playoff baseball and football just humming along. All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.